Thanks so much. Wow, that's great. That's great. You know, it's just like I haven't even said a word yet, and I'm already getting applause. That's for somebody who's a social outcast like me. That's a moral victory, right? All right. So here I am. I've decided I'm going to give a shot to this whole comedy stand-up thing. It's like it's something I've always wanted to do. It's always been kind of a dream of mine. It's fantasy, right? I have one friend. And he tells me, he says, Lettieri, he says, maybe you shouldn't, try to fulfill all your fantasies. That could be dangerous for you. And I'm like, yeah, I know. Tell it to my urethra. Right. So I go to my therapist a couple weeks ago, and he says to me, Lettieri, you're fucked up. And I'm like, yeah, I know. Tell me something I don't know. He says, well, you have a phobia. I'm like, a phobia? I'm like, what's that all about? You know what a phobia is, right? I mean, phobia is an anxiety disorder. That is characterized by an irrational and persistent fear of an object or a situation, right? People have all sorts of kind of phobias, right? They're afraid of heights, they're afraid of water, they're afraid of clowns, which is known as the bozophobia. And some people are even afraid of movies, right? I mean, who's afraid of movies? It's like, E.T. phone home, E.T. fuck me in the ass. I told you it was an irrational fear, right? So now that you know that I am a social outcast, what kind of phobia do you think I have? What do you think? No? You think I'm afraid of people? No, I'm not afraid of people. I'm not afraid of water. I'm not afraid,
Fear of commercial radio?
Yeah, I have fear of, anything commercial I have fear of, exactly. But no, it's very weird. I have a very weird kind of rare form of phobia. It's called insignificant other phobia. That's right. Basically, it means that I have an irrational and persistent fear of my ex-girlfriend. Right, fuck. And it's true, because whenever I run into her, I'm all anxiety-ridden, right? I lose my voice. I start going in cold sweats. My balls shrivel up. It's bad. It's a bad thing. So I go to my psychologist, my therapist, Dr. Frederick Kruger, and I say, Dr. Kruger, what are we gonna do about this? And he just shakes his head, and he says, you should leave town. I'm like, what? What do you mean I should leave town? I mean, what kind of advice is that? I'm paying you a lot of money. I mean, really, we need to tackle this head on. He says, no. He says, you need to avoid her at all costs. That kind of gets me angry. So I'm like, fuck you. And he's like, fuck me? No, fuck you. You have anger management issues. And I didn't bargain for that. I'm going to have to terminate our relationship. Dr. Kruger breaks up with me. I'm like, are you kidding me? Can I get any lower? So it's like when I'm out on the streets and I run into him, same thing. I got like phobia, right? It's like, I lose my voice, I start sweating, my asshole shrivels up. Yeah, speaking of my asshole, I want to tell you about my other doctor, Dr. Hyde. That's his name, I swear to God, Dr. Hyde. You know, like Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde? Only he's not Mr. Hyde, he's Dr. Hyde, right? He's my urologist. And I'm hoping that he's not gonna hide anything bigger than his finger up my ass. Red bum! Red bum! Scotty isn't here, Mrs. Torrance. He has a red bum. Right. Well, that hope and that wish did not come true because he put something up my butt that was way bigger than his finger. It's like, oh my God, guys and girls, women who are with guys in their lives, if you ever have to have a prostate biopsy, you look at the doctor and you tell him, you say, okay, doc, I'll do that, but you have to put me to sleep. You have to put me out because I didn't know that, right? So I go into the doctor's office and Dr. Hyde takes out this instrument. It's like super long. It looks like an umbrella, right? It's like huge. It's like, it's thick. It's not as thick as an umbrella, but it's thick enough, right? So he takes this thing, he lubes me up, he lubes, the umbrella up, and he starts putting it on my butt. I'm like, holy shit, it's like a plumber's helper, right? I'm like, oh my God, my eyes are spinning around in my head. I start tapping my fingers. I'm doing everything I can to divert my attention. I start singing, Santa Lucia, Santa Lucia. Finally, after about 20 minutes, he gets that thing up there, right? And then he looks at me and he says, well, that was the easy part. I'm like, what? And then he proceeds to shoot me 5 times in the prostate. Ding, 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 ding. I'm like, oh my God. I start crying. I'm like, trying again to divert my attention, trying to remember who was the lineup for the 1994 San Francisco Giants. It's like, that was Jeff Leonard in left field. No, Jeff Leonard was in the 70s. No, Barry Bonds in right. No, that was in the World Series. I'm like, oh my God. Right? So finally, he does that. And then he takes the snipper. Snip, 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 snip. And he snips 14 pieces of my prostate. You know how big a prostate is? It's about this big. It's about the shape of a walnut. I'm like, oh my God. This is not so bad because I can't feel that part. But he's moving around the umbrella like it's a hockey stick. It's like, over to Pavelski, he shoots, he scores! I'm like, oh! So finally, after that hail, he plops the thing out. Oh, something that I forgot to tell you though. At the end of the umbrella instrument, there's a little bulbous head on the top of it, right? It's got to be big enough to fit the needle, the camera, and the snippers, right? It's like it's huge. It's like this big, right? It's like it looks like a mini water tower, right? Or more precisely, it looks more like the head of E.T. E.T. phone home. E.T. fuck me in the ass. I'm here to tell you. Now I know why people are afraid of movies. Thank you very much. That's my time.